Hey, it's Eagle, and today I'm bringing you another unit comparison video. This video will focus on the Anti-Air class. Anti-Air specializes in mech destruction and is generally used as support during the mid-fight and to deter enemy mechs when sending a push of tanks. There are three main anti-air units: the Seeker, the Flakker, and the HAAT. Some fire missiles into the air while others use high-caliber bullets. All anti-air shoots in bursts and then takes a few seconds to reload, so it isn't a constant stream of damage. Hopefully this guide will help you choose the best anti-air for your loadout and playstyle. Let's get right into it. The Seeker is the classic anti-air in Airmech. It fires a volley of rockets into the air every few seconds that lock onto enemy mechs and do considerable damage. Although they are seeking missiles, they are the only anti-air whose damage can be avoided. The missiles can be outflown or dodged by hiding in your units or moving out of the line of fire. There are lots of strategies for using Seekers effectively. During a mid-fight, I put them behind my artillery and healers as the last line of defense, sometimes facing backwards. The reason for this is because most mechs will land behind your units and attempt to snipe them, and this setup deters them. Also, this way they will be protected by your heavier tanks if the enemy pushes their units. Seekers are also good for pushing towards an outpost or base. Once again, keep them at the back of your push. Having a few Seekers mixed in with your tanks is great because it's harder for your opponents to kill your units, and they also can't micro their own units efficiently, since the rockets will drain their outpost energy and mech health. If you do see an enemy on the ground that has low health, a great thing to do is to drop a Seeker right next to them. That way they'll either have to fight off the Seeker or transform and run into your bullets. No need to Viking dance and potentially lose a free kill. Now onto the stats for the Seeker. When I look at the stat bars for the Seeker, I see a pretty balanced array of numbers. The damage is split up into two numbers, the burst damage and DPS. It has the highest weapon rating of all anti-air, meaning it pierces through most armor and does considerably more damage. 3 Seekers can easily kill any mech if all of their volleys hit. It costs a little less than the average tank, but the rest of the stats resemble a Longhorn or Gemini. Many mechs can carry 2, or 1 in tandem with a tank. Anti-air is pretty much a necessity in any PvP game, and bringing a Seeker can't go wrong. The only reason I wouldn't bring it is if my opponent was a Neo, because Neo's ultimate ability deflects rockets, or maybe if they were a fast mech that could easily outrun them. Overall, it's a good fit for any loadout. The Flakker is the lightest and most mobile anti-air option. It's basically a flak cannon mounted on a truck, and this feature makes it the most mobile anti-air. It can be set on patrol to protect itself from artillery shells and mech fire. It won't last long against a tank, but they are easily replaced. They work well with lighter units such as armadillos because their fast movement speed allows them to keep up during a push. It's usually used in the early game because they are cheap and more effective against the weaker early game mechs. It works well against Saucer, Neo, and bombers who attempt to do bombing runs on your unit clusters. If you're stuck in a stalemate though, I would replace them with a heavier anti-air. 4 to 5 will kill any mech who sticks around your units for too long. They are good for sustained instant damage. Flakker stats are geared towards speed and efficiency. They have a low build cost and speed, making them the most spammable and cost-effective. As you can see, their health is lacking. For damage, the numbers are a little misleading because they don't fire in short bursts like Seekers, and Flakkers have a lower weapon rating, so not as much damage is done to the mechs. However, on the plus side, they are the only anti-air that requires only 1 unit upkeep, so you can build twice as many of them if you want. They have the most lopsided stats, but that just means they are more specialized for the early game. As the mechs level up and gain more armor and health, the Flakkers will have less of an effect on them. They do work well for annoying your opponents though, and mechs will die pretty quickly if you can build enough of them. The HAAT is the turret version of the Flakker. It does a huge amount of damage, and is the tankiest. Unlike the Seeker, it doesn't have a weak spot in the back, so there is no easy way to destroy one, besides an all-out tank assault. If you can ward off mechs until you have enough time and money to build a couple of HAATs, you will no longer have a problem with them for the rest of the game. You usually only see HAATs in team games just because of their high cost and limited mobility, but if you can keep your units alive without Flakkers or Seekers in the beginning of the game, HAATs will get you some key kills in 1v1 as well. They are perfect for finishing off enemies who think they've escaped with a sliver of health while flying over units and then get shot down by a HAAT. Their damage can't be avoided, and 2 will kill any mech, even warthogs or paladins. Unfortunately, because they are immobile, they don't work very well during pushes, so you either need to do extra micro or have a teammate bring supplementary anti-air for pushes. HAATs are best used on small maps because their range covers a large vicinity, making it hard for enemy mechs to avoid their fire. It does get bonuses while on a socket, however, and is the best choice for a mid-fight or artillery war. HAATs are also maxed and minned for their stats. It's not great for build cost or time efficiency, and obviously it can't move anywhere very quickly. However, if you're looking for a unit that can kill all mechs quickly without being killed itself, the HAAT is for you. You won't be able to carry more than one, but usually one is all you need for most exchanges. It's probably the anti-air that takes the most skill to use just because you need to actually micro it around to where it needs to be. But it has great range and is well worth it if you take the time to learn how to use it correctly. That's all I've got for the anti-air tutorial. Hopefully this guide and comparison of the different units in this group has given you a better idea on how to use each of them properly. There are no bad options, so just choose the one that suits your needs and stick to it until your opponents are dying every time they attempt to mess with you. As always, like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you later.